tested positive. That will delay camp just a little bit, according to GM Bob Myers. Hey, everybody, I'm Allie LaForce. Joining me is my long-lost partner, Brendan Haywood. Yes. What's going on, Brendan?
What's going on, Allie? Good to see you. That jacket is fire. Hey, you got to pull the hair back so people can see what you got going on there with that jacket. Yeah.
It's kind of like part blazer, part denim, you know, the casual home look, but still keeping it professional. You like it?
Yeah, I'm rolling with it. I'm rolling with it.
I love it. Glasses on point, as always. Lots to talk about today. December 1st, meaning the NBA season starts this month. The offseason shorter than normal, but that didn't stop the best teams from getting better, and lots of action in free agency in the trade market. So players have been talking to the media leading up to the start of practices, and I can't think of a better place to start than the reigning NBA champion and the king, LeBron James.
Happy to have Mark, another champion.
Yeah.
One with the Raptors 2 years ago, who I've always loved.
Yeah.
Mark has my Defensive Player of the Year trophy at his house. But
but
that's no here nor there.
No. That's not a knock on Mark. But this is the thing, because sometimes we don't.
I love you, Mark. I can't wait to talk about this. Wesleigh Matthews, who I've loved to compete against, and his father is a former Laker as well.
Oh, that's dope.
So we got two guys. We got two guys who have family Laker ties.
Yeah.
And then we get Trez.
How Trez is?
Now we got Trez.
How Trez ended up here with the Lakers?
We knocked
so basically, Braun isn't playing until February.
First of all, Trez was the next door neighbor. We knocked on his door and said, "Do you like?"
Yeah, he said he
felt
felt like the Clippers didn't like what was going on. How did Trez
end up with the Lakers? And we landed Trez. I mean,
that was honestly like the moment of free agency where everyone was like, "What?"
Yeah.
Yeah, including some of his teammates. That they actually put that on social media. It's not like I'm making it up. They said, what? We got Trez, who Sixth Man of the Year award winner, who's going to help our bench, which we struggle with this past year with our bench, and keeping that up. And then
you've got the runner-up.
And then we got the runner-up, Sixth Man of the Year award, and Dennis Schroeder. So
that was a pickup.
Who I call his nickname. I don't know if you like it or not. We have not had the conversation, but he's Dennis the Menace.
Dennis the Menace.
Because I love what he brings to the game. His tenacity. He's a dog.
You gotta let him go.
He gets under the skin. He's a Richard Jefferson, Draymond Green type guy where if he's your teammate, you love the out of him. If he's not, you can't stand him.
The Defensive Player of the Year joke or dig, whatever you want to call it, was referring to 2013 when LeBron finished second place to Marc Gasol. And, of course, he went on to win NBA MVP and Finals MVP that year. So I don't think it was as important then as it is maybe now looking back. But was that not the look of winning, of relaxation and pure confidence we saw from LeBron James right there?
LeBron looks so confident. He looks so calm and cool, and he just looks relaxed. He looks like he's in just a really calm place right now. I love seeing LeBron like that. He knows the season's about to kick off, but he's still enjoying that championship. LeBron looks like he has a little bit of a championship glow to him, Allie.
What do you like most about the Montrezl Harrell move?
What I like most about the Montrezl Harrell move is that now the Lakers get a little bit more pop off their bench, which was a problem for them last year. And then on top of that, everything that people, let's say, dislike about Montrezl Harrell will be covered up with the Lakers. When you look at the fact that Montrezl, he isn't a great shooter, but he can roll to the basket, and AD can replace and give them the shooting they need, let Montrezl go wild inside. Montrezl obviously has some problems defending in the post, but that's what Anthony Davis is going to do. I think Montrezl complements this team well. I think him and Anthony Davis are going to fit seamlessly and perfect. And I like where this Laker team is. The best team in the league just got off season. Rob Pelinka is already my GM of the year.
No doubt. How do you see Dennis Schroeder fitting in and contributing?
Oh, I think Dennis Schroeder is going to fit in just fine. Because we saw what Rondo did for them last year. Dennis Schroeder, obviously a lot younger than Rondo, playing at a higher level than Rondo is right now. So I think whether he comes off the bench or he starts, that seems to be a little bit of a point of contention with Dennis Schroeder. He wants to be a starter. Wherever he comes off, he's going to help this team, and it's going to be an upgrade. So I like everything that the Lakers have done so far. It's like they have to be the favorites this year. It looks like they probably have a good chance to repeat.
Hashtag winning, 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 winning sums up the Lakers offseason. All right, let's move on to a team who also potentially got better, theoretically got better. The Phoenix Suns, who are looking to end a decade-long playoff drought. They signed Chris Paul, which was huge. Here's their head coach, Monty Williams, on the signing of Chris Paul.
We added a first ballot Hall of Fame point guard to our team. Obviously, that comes with a bit of sacrifice, but we felt like it was one that was more than worth the risk. And we felt like there wasn't much negative risk. We felt like the reward for trading for a guy like Chris and for me, reuniting with him was a bonus. We still feel like it's going to improve our team. That's no disrespect to Ricky or Kelly. But Chris is Chris. I mean, he's one of the best players in the history of the game, especially at his position. He may be the best point guard of this era.
So here is a look at the Suns' projected depth chart. For my question for you, Brendan, is just with Chris Paul, it fascinates me how over the last 2 years the narrative has just changed so much around him. What's your take on the point that he's at in his career and what he can contribute to Phoenix?
I think that Chris Paul sometimes gets a bad rap. I think that there were some times where sometimes his leadership was a little bit hard when he was in LA, but I think that's going to be a perfect fit for this young Phoenix team that's trying to get over the hump. We saw what Chris Paul was able to do last year in OKC. A lot of people didn't think he'd fit in. Some people didn't even think he would want to go there with him being an older player playing on a younger team that didn't have a chance to compete. But Chris Paul did just fine. He did what he was supposed to do. He was a great vet on and off the court, and he helped those young guys grow. He helped Shai Gilgeous grow. He helped a guy like Dennis Schroeder continue to grow. So I think Chris Paul will do the exact same thing for the Phoenix Suns. I think this is the missing piece that gets them over the hump and into the playoffs. They just need a floor general, a leader, somebody that can get Booker and Ayton easy shots. He's going to get so many lobs, it's going to be ridiculous because Chris Paul is still the best player we have in the game at reading the pick and roll from the point guard position. So I think the Phoenix Suns definitely got better. I think the young guys will grow as long as they listen to the floor general.
No doubt. I think what's been great is Chris Paul has really showed his willingness to adjust, to be the best version of himself, to fit into an organization that he was thrown into. We saw him change his diet. He was in great physical shape. He was a leader in Oklahoma City. So he's going to have to do the same with Phoenix, and I'm excited to watch. Another guy who's going to have to do some serious adjusting and coaching is Doc Rivers, who now has this Philadelphia 76ers team to figure out, which no one has been able to do really for the last 3 or 4 years. Here's Doc on what he thinks.
I guarantee you we'll run more pick and rolls. And I guarantee you'll see more pick and rolls with Ben and Joel in them, So, but I like a lot of the stuff they ran in the past too. They had some pretty good movement stuff. And so we want to make sure that because of this shortened preseason, shortened training camp, and quick first game, that we don't try to do too much. We want to make them as comfortable as possible.
I think that's a great approach, first of all, because they've been overthinking everything in terms of the chemistry and are they in shape and the injuries and the fit of the roster. And now they have a new head coach. So it is a lot for a team, for an individual alone. I think by trading for Seth Curry, by trading for Danny Green, now they have more shooting, which they desperately needed. But is it enough, Brendan?
I won't know whether it will be enough until I see their two best players get on the court and what they look like. Obviously, they upgraded the shooting, but that wasn't the only problem with this team. Ben Simmons his offensive game was lacking a lot of substance. He's a great passer. I love Ben Simmons, basketball player. I love his potential. But if we're talking about trying to win right now, I can't think of an NBA player in history that plays on the wing with that type of offensive skill set that's been able to win a title. When the game slows down in the playoffs, you have to have a mid-range jumper, maybe a three-point shot, or at least be a consistent free throw shooter to be able to impact ball games. And Ben Simmons is not there yet. So I love the free agent moves, but I'm not worried about free agency. I'm not worried about Doc Rivers. I'm worried about Ben Simmons, and I'm worried about Joel Embiid. Your best two players will set the tempo. They will set the culture. Last year, that culture wasn't great. I think Joel needs to be in a little bit better shape. Ben Simmons has to address the offense. When those two things happen, the Clippers will be ready to contend. Until then, they might be pretenders.
Right. It's like getting shooters doesn't let you off the hook if you're Ben Simmons. It takes less pressure off of you to do something you're uncomfortable at, which is shooting more three-point shots. But he has been working on that part of his game. That's what's so fascinating about the conversation about Ben Simmons is you see him getting up hundreds of three-pointers in practice in the offseason. He just has to allow that to translate to the game. Now that they have more shooters, he can focus more on mid-range. Maybe that'll be more comfortable for him. All right, Brandon, Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are running it back in black. Can they find a way to make a championship run? That's the question, though. We'll see when we return on Game Time. I love the jerseys, kind of have like a Darth Vader-ish look. That's how people are describing them. Also, by the way, the Clippers collaborated with the designer for the Make Your Mark campaign. So they're having monthly events during the regular season where the Clippers are going to host digital workshops for high school students. So Inner City Arts, the Los Angeles Unified School District are some of the people involved. Really cool stuff around the jerseys. But the big question is, after we watch the Lakers win the offseason and make moves left and right, after the Clippers blew a 3-1 series lead against the Denver Nuggets in the Western Conference semifinals, what did they do and what are they going to continue to do to try to move the needle? They lost six-man award winner Montrezl Harrell. We talked about that earlier. Then they added Serge Ibaka. What does that move exchange do for you, Brendan?
Well, listen, when you first look at it at face value, you say, well, they lost Montrezl Harrell and they replaced him with Serge Ibaka. You think, well, that's a net negative for the Clippers. But in actuality, it's not. Serge Ibaka is somebody that has a previous relationship with Kawhi Leonard. The relationship Montrezl Harrell was partially a problem.
Looks like we lost Brendan's audio as we try to get him back and connected. I think, one of the things that's really great is the fact that Coach Ty Lue really knows that talent won't take you to a championship alone. And now that we have Brendan back, I'd love to hear your thoughts on how significant having a head coach like Ty Lue can be. He was with the program before, so he's seen what it takes, but also being with LeBron in Cleveland, not having a ton of elite athletes, but knowing what it takes to use the talent you do have and make a championship team and make a championship run. Okay, we lost you again. We'll keep on working on getting Brendan back because we love Brendan. We miss Brendan. Meanwhile, concerning the Clippers, we do have some news that just came in before we started the show. Reggie Jackson signing a one-year deal. He played just 21 minutes in 17 appearances leading into the postseason last year. Those minutes dropped to 14 minutes per game in the 12 playoff games he played. But he can push the pace. He's a solid offensive point guard. His per 36 minutes are pretty solid the last two seasons, 18 points per game and 6 assists while also shooting threes. He can be, a guy that can give some really great minutes to players that need breathers. We know that health was a little bit of an issue for the Clippers, just in terms of having to rest certain players throughout the season. Now with the even shorter offseason, that could be a really big concern. So we'll have to keep our eye on how the shortened offseason affects this Clippers team. No doubt about that.
Make sure you get all his hair in the shot.
I know, that's a lot of hair. I like it.
Oh.
Ready when you are.
I'm ready. My hair's not ready.
Hey, Doc. Nice to see you again.
Well, I don't see you, Tim, which is no fair, but
it's probably better that way for both of us.
I don't know where you're making these stories up that me and James talked about any of this at a workout. Like, I don't know where that came from. And James is a friend of mine, but I let the front office handle all of that stuff.
It bothers me a lot. I'm not gonna lie. It bothers me a lot. I really don't understand why I wasn't on it, but it's motivation for next season. Just gotta, it's good. I have an extra chip on my shoulder, just to prove myself even more.
It's just a different energy that they're showing their faces in here. I see them every morning. I get here around, 8 o'clock and they're already in the gym. They're on the court with you. They're talking to you about, not just basketball, personal life things. What things do you like around here? What don't you like? They want you to be up front. They're willing to change and hear players' opinions. So I think that's something that's been different in the past.
Stan's an old school dude. Old school guy. And I just like that, man. You know what I mean? So I feel like I can learn a lot from him. Hence the extensionis. Sounds like.
All right, everybody, the preseason is just days away. So excited to get this season started. Here are some of the notable preseason games, starting with Clippers-Lakers. And if you notice, we get to see Clippers and the Lakers twice in the preseason, once on December 11th and once on December 13th. Of course, we don't know which superstars will be playing how many minutes, but the Mavericks and the Bucks also extremely exciting. That way we can look at some pretty must-watch TV when it comes to the one-on-one matchups you're looking at on this schedule. I mean, if you want to just talk about the fact that December 12th, the Mavericks and the Bucks are playing, and that's Giannis versus Luka, that is must-see TV. Giannis flying up and down the court, dunking the basketball, shooting threes like we saw him improve at last season, and Luka, who just apparently has absolutely no ceiling when it comes to his game. He was so incredible to watch last season. When you talk to his teammates, all they tell you is he's unselfish, yet you watch him play and you think, this guy could be a one-man show in and of itself. His ball handling just improved as the season went on, and he was just so awesome with his court vision, wise beyond his years, and somebody that I can't wait to watch this season, no doubt about that. So when you look at some of the rookies and who you think will make the biggest impact this upcoming NBA season, and you start thinking about who will be the best fit and where, it's hard not to go with James Wiseman. The Golden State Warriors selected the University of Memphis center with the 2nd overall pick in this year's draft, and people are getting very, very excited to watch him play. But Steve Kerr, the head coach of the Warriors, by the way, says, don't get too excited. He's still a rookie and has a lot of room to grow within our system. Let's listen to Steve Kerr and his thoughts on Wiseman.
When he's on the court with those guys, he's got to learn the spacing. He's got to learn to get to that dunker spot and be on the backside of and understand his role in those circumstances. And then at the other end of the floor, Draymond is going to be anchoring the defense, and he's got to be Draymond's partner ultimately. Looney learned over his first couple of years, he learned the ropes at the 5. Looney is going to be so much more advanced than James will be defensively. So James has a lot to catch up on, but James's potential athletically is so dramatic that I imagine he'll have a chance to step in and help us because he's so athletic and dynamic. But there's a ton to learn, and he doesn't have the value of a summer league and a whole summer of workouts. So a lot to catch up on in every respect. So we just got to do our best, and I'm excited for James, but also want to preach caution for everybody not to expect too much too soon, because we're just throwing him right into the fire. And he played 3 college games, so he's got a lot of things to learn.
Hey, listen, when Steve Kerr talks, you listen. And